Okay, hello everybody, it's 1:30 and we're going to start the December meeting of the Council on Aging Board. And we'll start off public session. So no one is here. We'll move on to the induction of the new board member, Alexis. Patty, will you take care of that?
Yeah, so Alexis had the second reading at City Council in November, and this is Alexis' first meeting. And as I mentioned at the last meeting, one of Alexis' claim to fame is that Dominique is her daughter. And Dominique served as both our department secretary and then as our assistant director before she left for her job with the state. So we're happy to have Alexis, and we've already talked about some programming that we're interested in doing here. So we welcome you.
Welcome.
Welcome. And I apologize, we usually have nameplates when somebody, so that people know, you would know who everybody is, and at some point you'll know everybody.
My fault. Some familiar faces.
Yeah, people can grab your own.
Yeah.
Two voices.
Sorry about that.
Something that looks like you.
That's me.
Okay, now that we all know who everybody is, we'll continue. And we'll have the staff report. Helen is here, way down the end.
Hi.
You're on.
Okay. Are we waiting me? This? Okay. Last time I was here was just 2 months ago, so my information is short today. So this is, these are numbers from the beginning of the year to today, more or less, the end of the year. So fitness center, this is what I pulled up from my senior center, and we've had close to 11,000, excuse me, unduplicated, or is it duplicated visits to the fitness center. I was very pleased. That gives, that's for 303 members. So that's about, you do an average around 36 times for each one. I thought that was rather
Almost once a week, times a month.
just about. Except you look at it and it's really skewed because you have a bunch of people that have only been here once and a bunch of people who come every single day.
Yeah.
So, but it's still a nice number. For medical transportation, we have 199 seniors registered and 57 for this year that have used it on a regular basis. And we've provided 382 rides. We have been unable, for the circumstances listed, to not been able to provide around 60 rides. And that has to do with lack of a driver, short time notice. Perhaps a ride is in Greenfield or in Springfield, and not all drivers go to those areas, so those have been rides that we've been unable to provide.
And that's for the year?
Yes, that's for the year. That's from January 1.
That's not bad.
No, but we still need more, so we still have, I believe Crystal mentioned we will be getting another driver, so that's going to be good. And the more drivers we have, the more rides we can provide.
Are most of the rides provided within Northampton?
They are. The majority of the rides are provided within the Northampton, Florence. Florence is a close one also. A lot of doctor's offices are there. And the ones that are out of town, the majority are to Springfield. And then just a small amount are to Hadley and Amherst and places like that.
And how many drivers do we have?
We have 10 drivers.
It's a lot for.
We have 10 drivers, but 1, 2, 3, I believe I have 4 drivers who really don't drive very often, less than once a month. So the numbers don't, saying I have 10 drivers, there are those instances. I have other drivers one driver who's our seasonal driver says, I can do, rides all day long. He says, I'm retired, I have nothing to do, so, which is a great thing.
Of course, there's almost like a one-stop now down, the 2 buildings down there where Bay State is. A couple of my doctors are down there.
Yeah.
It's really convenient, though.
Yeah.
Plenty of parking.
Oh, you mean Bernie Avenue?
No.
Bernie Avenue on Main Street? Oh, you mean down here?
Down here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them in there now.
Yeah.
I've been there twice.
They're all switching. Yeah.
Yeah, the physical therapy has moved down there. It's become very
So between
convenient.
that and 40 Main Street and 10 Main Street and Florence,
Yeah.
the major locations.
Yes.
And a lot of Bay State physicians are coming now to King Street.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't have to go down to Bay State much anymore. They see me up here, which is really good.
So that's our year. I think it's a good year.
Any questions for Helen? Thank you, Helen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You may.
Okay, thank you.
We gotta jump back on this one there. The approval of minutes of the November 13th meeting.
I'll second.
And now we have to vote also on the executive meeting.
I got a call from Teresa Dunn. There was a change, there was something that was missed in the minutes. She asked me to let someone know that she was not in the vote against the copy for board members.
She was against it.
Yes.
Okay, so there's an amendment to the minutes by Teresa Dunn about the discussion on coffee being provided free. Okay, it's on the last page of the
Yeah.
minutes. So the minutes need to be amended to reflect that Teresa Dunn voted against the motion.
With that amendment, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, anybody abstain? No? Okay, now we have to move on to the October executive meeting.
So everybody would have got that,
Yeah.
as you got a packet of handouts today, so it's October 16th, 2014 executive minutes.
Oh.
Want to put it on the floor?
Yeah, I'll approve it.
Somebody want to second that motion? John? Okay, discussion, Bob?
No, I really don't have anything.
No? Okay. Anyone have any discussion about the October executive? No, hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, and abstaining? None.
So just a comment about the, within the executive minutes, the, was for the board to wait 6 months for the executive director at Highland Valley to pass the probation period. I meant to call this morning to find out when that actually is up. So I'll find that out and then let you know so that then you can, re-examine it.
Okay. Now we'll move on to finances and the FY15 budget.
Yep, so we're in the FY15 budget, and I passed out the OM and PS, which is our city appropriation for our budget, and we still have funds in both of those accounts. I guess it's pretty redundant each meeting to say that as it gets closer to the end of the fiscal year, which will be in June, money gets transferred from many of our revolving accounts, monies that we receive from grants and fundraising and donations and whatever it is that we owe our portion of to the city for our personnel. So we have an obligation each budget year to provide, I think this year it was $92,000 to the city, so that we have the staff that we have. So we have money remaining in each of the OM and PS accounts.
Anyone have any questions on the 15?
Another question. No?
Okay. We'll move on to the director's report.
A couple other things that got passed out. You have an updated listing of all board members, and the first sheet is what we have as a document that we would have to provide to people in terms of who our board members are. And also your names are listed on our website, as are most board and commission members are on websites. The second page is just an internal document that we use, which would have your email address on it, so that we can email you if there's something, you know, beyond the minutes that we need to send you, or the agenda, so. And as things change, so you should look at this. If there's anything we have incorrect, let us know. There was one that we got.
My email address isn't listed here, but I know you guys have my email address because I am getting emails.
Okay, all right, so that's, okay, so that was something handed out. And then there was the code of conduct, but we'll get to that after. Okay, so I have to say that I am, and so is staff, somewhat jubilant because we did our last big event for the year, which was the holiday dinner. So now we can catch up with a lot of what we haven't been able to do. Being involved with putting on some bigger events, so it's nice to sort of have a refresher. It's not that there isn't anything for staff to do, but it was, the holiday dinner was our last big event for the year. November 22nd, from 9 to 3, we had our craft festival and marketplace, and Crystal did an outstanding job getting many vendors involved with setting up space here, setting up their tables in our space. Vendors could come in at 7:15. So it actually is, Saturday is a very long day. I think we were out of here by 4:30 because basically this whole senior center gets rechanged because every room becomes something different. It's a lot of moving furniture, it's a lot of setting up furniture, tables and chairs, depending upon how the rooms get used, because the festival does take up the whole senior center. It was very active. We had a lot of people here. We had a lot of events happening within the senior center beyond just the vendors. This year we did a marketplace as well as craft vendors, so that somebody selling a product like Avon could come in. It wasn't something that somebody made, but it was a something that a customer could purchase. And so that whole week of the craft fair, getting up to the craft fair. I want to say thank you to Mira Listowski because she came in here many a night to help me do a lot of the sorting and pricing, and there was a lot sort of near the end. Well, I should say there was a lot to do before the event, and it wasn't that things were stalled or anything. It was just that there was so much to do based on everything else that happens here. And thanks to John coordinating the menu for food services that we had for the bistro, and Barbara, thank you for getting the signatures for people with Florence Savings Bank, because we really do count on the customer grant program. And the last 2 years, the money that we get from that has gone towards the van. So, hopefully we'll get a lot from, well, that will be eligible at least to receive something from Florence Savings Bank, which we won't know until later, January or February from Florence Savings, because it ends, if somebody hasn't voted yet and they have a Florence Savings Bank account, vote for Elder Vision Inc., Council on Aging, and then that vote would go towards the percentage that we receive, so that would be very helpful.
Patty,
Yeah,
and when I said the money goes for the van, you got a lot of people coming in and signing up.
yeah, so, that was the purpose of it last year from Florence Savings Bank, and that's the purpose of a number of things that we're doing, including Valley Gives, so Chris will talk about that
Yeah,
a
I
little
definitely need
later.
something to drive.
Yeah, well, and plus Frank Netto was kind enough to do a CD for us on the TV. It's our PSA that NCTV did for us, and it's a number of seniors who spoke about the need for the van, and I was interviewed, and it just played and played. I don't know if it had any impact on people in the senior center, but it's also something that we had on our Facebook page, on
Website.
the website, so people could see it, and Crystal sent it out to, and I think everybody here probably received it as well, so. It was good to get out, and I think you probably know, whoever sits at the front desk knows it by heart. But I think with the craft fair, one of the things it showed us is, excuse me, how much, every year it's a lot of work, but it seems to be getting, because we keep adding things to it, it just seems to be getting harder and more involved. It's a great event because, one, we bring in income, and also it brings a lot of people into the building who there's no way they ever would need to come into a senior center. And I think the momentum of what we're doing, this was our 8th year, that people are used to it, and it has become a very popular event for people to come to buy things for the holidays. But looking at it and the number of volunteers, it's getting harder because a lot of the volunteers we had who could move furniture and do all that, that sort of isn't always there anymore. And so moving couches and chairs, I'm going to just say that I think we need to look at some other things, because it's very hard when some people, and I'm not talking about just staff, but some volunteers are kind of doing it for several days. It just becomes overwhelming. So anyway, looking at direct service to seniors versus a lot of the fundraising that we do. Both are very important, so it's how do we balance it?
Maybe you can find some organization that has younger people who could come in for a day, say, or more capable of moving, because volunteers getting older.
Right.
And they can move the furniture around a little
Kids at the
faster.
church, for community service.
Community service, high school,
Yeah,
something
so-
like that,
right.
organizations to look at.
So we've thought of that, like when we've done the health and safety fair, when we were at the Elks, the jail came in to help us. But we have to remember too that we need this done during the day, like all day
Business hours.
Thursday.
Yeah.
We need people to move stuff then, because then you have to get all the tables set up with the merchandise. So it's like clockwork on what needs to get done, but trying to think who out there can come help do this. And so the jail is a good resource, and maybe some other organizations, if they can come in during the workday.
Yeah, it's getting them when you need them, not
Oh, yeah.
when they're able, when they want to help. And that unfortunately has been the biggest drawback with getting volunteers, is that people want to help when they want to help. And when you need them to help, it's less, it's
Well,
less
younger
likely.
people are either working or
Yeah.
in school.
Yeah.
And of course, until about 3 o'clock, you don't have much availability. And
Right.
you close at 4,
Right,
it's hard to get much out of it. Yeah.
yeah, so
Well-
it makes it difficult. We do have a lot of younger volunteers that do volunteer here, so just their availability is limited.
And then we move on to the holiday dinner, which was just this past Sunday, and we were fortunate to have a lovely weather day. I will say that the only huge problem that we had was our parking lots. And I think we took care of it, but here's what we had to do to take care of it. I got sawhorses from the DPW so we could block off our parking lots on Friday when we left. Because the hot chocolate run was on Sunday, and from previous experience, our parking lots get filled, as does anything around Northampton Center. So we blocked them off, and then I had somebody standing at both parking lots so people couldn't pull in. And it went pretty well. It just unfortunately was something extra we had to do, and you know, both those people were paid to stand out there for the monitoring of our parking lots. And I'll say overall, most people were very considerate and nice. And you know, there were a few people who were a little miffed that they couldn't park there. Also what happened was over at World War II Club, they were having a pancake breakfast. And they were allowing 8 of our staff to park over there, and I came a little before 9 and the parking lot was already full, so it was really parking further on down. So World War II always lets us use their parking when we have bigger programs. So I don't know if because we set the schedule for what happens for the year, pretty much now, that I don't know when the next hot chocolate run is, but I think we would try to plan it not when they were doing it. But I also,
Avoid it if possible,
yeah, I also have to consider when people like John Kaczynski, who coordinates the whole kitchen and the menu, when he's available too. So it's like putting a lot of pieces together. But you know, there are a number of organizations that need to raise money. We're one of those. The holiday dinner is not a fundraiser, it's an event to have for people in our community, our seniors, around the holidays. So, you know, that, other than that, I thought it went very, very well. Heather Kaling, the program coordinator, coordinated it. We had wonderful entertainment. The food was great. John had a nice menu. And I have this that we put out on the table, so I'll pass that out. People can see that. We had the mayor who came and did a welcome. We had Councilor Labarge and City Clerk Wendy Mazza here to help. And Lorraine was in the kitchen. Mary volunteered. I mean, it was just, it takes a lot of people to do it. And I think at some point we're going to figure out how many hours it actually, here's how many hours it took to just do the holiday dinner.
John, Barbara, wow.
Yeah, Barbara and John Kaczynski were here on Saturday and then Sunday, and Dan Pepin and his wife, and Paul Deeman, and who am I forgetting? Who else in the kitchen? Lorraine, you were there, and so it takes a lot of people, and it was a very nice event. We were glad to have people at our event.
This year you had special tickets for the out-of-town people who qualified. How many, of the group that you planned on, how many did you actually sell?
I think we sold 4. 4 out of town out of 10. We only had 10 available to out-of-towners.
I don't think it was mentioned in the paper, was it, this year?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
Or
I
was
think
it
it
mentioned?
was.
Okay.
Yeah, the other thing mentioned, because this is always an issue, is on the ticket it says no takeout. And that prevents 2 things. One, that people can't just come in and get a meal and leave. And it also doesn't allow food to be taken out. If people bring their own containers and their own baggies or whatever it is, good for you, but we don't provide that because we don't know what happens to the food, and it's just a health
Oh, that's
issue.
excellent.
So, other than that, I would say People really enjoyed the meal. The food was raved about. The entertainment was good, and we had wonderful door prizes. It was set up beautifully.
And it was great having the girls from the East Hampton cheerleaders this year.
Yes, I should have
Oh
mentioned.
my gosh, they
Yeah,
were
so
cute.
the cheerleaders from East Hampton, Crystal was able to arrange for them to be here, and they were wonderful little elves.
They were cute.
Oh, my
Did
Almond,
very
my
well.
almond flowers are still looking good.
Yes, and Nuttleman's was.
Oh, they were
was-
beautiful.
They were gorgeous.
So,
Yes.
I didn't get anything.
Yes, and we had two beautiful cakes, which you'll see pictures of in our next paper. Linda Manor Assisted Living provided two beautiful cakes that they got from Atkins, and they were like picturesque. You didn't want to cut them because they were just so gorgeous. They were,
And delicious.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
they were
they were very
delicious, yeah. So, thank you for mentioning that, John. And I am currently working with the second round of the senior and veteran tax work-off program. We have 18 seniors and 4 veterans. So I've been working with interviews with the seniors. I just put out a broadcast to department heads because I have more seniors than I do jobs. So I'm trying to get more positions for people to have an opportunity to work at. And those veterans and seniors who have qualified will be starting from January until November. They can do their 111 hours. So, you know, it's a great program that the mayor put together, and it's very beneficial to the seniors and the veterans who are involved with it. So we have more people this year than last year. When I say last year, it's the last July through November of 2014. And we have more people this time, so the program is really picking up. There are actually 20 spots for seniors and 10 for veterans, so, you know, the more people we have, which is wonderful, but once there's more people than positions available, slots available for this, we would have to do a lottery. So we haven't had to do that yet. And that's it. Happy holidays.
Any questions for Patty on her director's report? Okay. We'll move on to buildings and grounds report.
Yeah, the only thing I had listed, and I already mentioned it, was about the parking area. We did have our first snowstorm this week, where we had to have the parking lot sanded or salted. So that's, you know, getting back into that routine. And I'll just mention to everybody, and we do put it in the paper, our Constantine Chronicle, that if the schools are closed, it doesn't mean the senior center's closed. The only way that no staff need to show up is when the mayor declares that the city is closed. Then that's how it is. But I can make a decision if it's very dangerous. I consider it dangerous outside, unsafe. Our parking lots aren't plowed. Everything's very unsafe out there. Then programs would be canceled. And I do that by 7:30. I put a message on the front phone, 1228, to inform the public that programs have been canceled. It's also on WHMP channel 22, 30, and 40. And that's how people can know. But I can cancel programs, but staff is still here, because only the mayor can declare that the city is closed and staff do not need to appear unless you're essential personnel. So that's just to review what happens in the city during inclement weather. That's all I had for buildings and grounds. Other than that, we are closed. So all those dates that were closed, so is the city.
Anyone have any questions on the grounds and maintenance? None? Old business, and you want to start today?
Sure. So as you know, we're doing Kick the Tires, a new van campaign. To date, we have $16,247.70. Any donation is wonderful. If somebody's sending us $1 or they're sending us $10,000, all of it is going to help with the van. And to date, I just want to mention that Bob and Mary Ann Foote have made the largest contribution of $10,000 for the purchase of a van. And they've done that in memory of their parents. So any donation is welcome. We'll continue with this van campaign. And I'm just going to have Crystal talk about the Valley Gives program, which is the first year that we've participated in that program.
So from midnight yesterday the 10th till midnight this morning, we were able to raise $1,509.70, and that's the net amount because the Valley Gives website, they use Razoo as the managing website, so that's excellent in my opinion for our first year, being able to bring in just over $1,500 in donations. We had donations from as little as $10 given online to as much as $250. There was Morris Gould had given a donation in memory of his wife of $2,000 that he said we could use as a match grant, which a match grant is you put it on Valley Gives website as a match, and then anybody that donates can put their donation towards the match. We only were able to match the grant up to $1,200. Unfortunately, we didn't make the full $2,000, but out of everybody who donated, $1,200 in donations were those that people wanted to go towards the match. So it's good. I sent 864 emails out with our PSA to seniors that we serve or we have served here at the senior center, and we definitely had individuals who don't come in here often or hardly ever who donated to the campaign. It was wonderful. Every donation gave me an email, so we were able to thank people instantaneously. It was great to see the support, and from they were unlike they hadn't given donations for a lot of them for anything here before, so they were unique to us and unique to Valley Gives, which helped us to qualify for prizes that Valley Gives was also giving out, which is wonderful.
All of that money is going toward the fire campaign, right?
Yes.
So Crystal put a lot of energy and time into this, and I think the word has gotten out that we're doing this, and we got some donations, and hopefully we'll continue to.
Yeah. How much is the van?
It's around $65,000. Could be a little less, and hopefully not more.
You're a dreamer.
You're gonna buy it in town?
Actually, what I'm going to say is that there are vans that places that sell these kind of vans, and most of them are not in Northampton.
If there was one in Northampton, we would sure love for them to call us and give us a deal.
But,
Photo contact
Yeah.
division.
Yeah, so everyone has a draft of the code of conduct. So I'll just go through this and tell you what has been changed. And this is based on our last meeting. And it was reflective of what Bob Montague had talked about, and that's combining some of the items, and then also about the computer room. So that's the reason for making some changes. So in number 1, the second portion, the second line of number 1 was moved to go into number 6. And then what used to be, hold on, let me find the old copy. So what used to be 5, 6, and 8 were combined into what is now number 6. And then the only other change was in number 4. Pets are not permitted in the senior center, only ADA. ADA was added to service animals, okay, and that means American Disabilities Act. So that, and that only includes, according to ADA, it includes miniature ponies and it includes dogs.
Pigs.
No, pigs are not according to ADA. They
No
may be,
pigs on the
they may
plate.
be therapy animals, but they're not ADA compliant service animals. And there are a number of people, and I can attest that any of them are in Northampton, who actually do have those miniature ponies, because those ponies have a longer lifespan than dogs.
Really?
Yeah, we do.
So, you know, some people say, well, what about monkeys? Monkeys are not part of the ADA.
There might be a few monkeys at work for it.
But yes, there was that whole story about that.
To run a country.
So those are the changes. So number 6 really comes from 4 different parts of what we had for a code of conduct, making it a little more concise. But excuse me, the new one was about the computer room, which is number 7, because we needed to address that. So that's what's in there.
No questions on that for Patty? Got anything other than a little bit? Oh,
They should, yeah.
Make a motion that we vote on the changes in the center code of contact.
I'll make a
Bob,
motion.
and I hear a second. Any discussion on this? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? None. So that-
Can you say one other thing?
Okay.
So we have this posted on our bulletin board so that we can say, yes, it's posted. And it's also next to each of the My Senior Center screens out in the lobby. And it does help staff to identify when you say something to someone, to say, you know, here, it's part of our code of conduct, like it's for real.
Yeah.
And I think, as I said before, that the code of conduct gets changed based on the behavior of, you know, people using the building or using equipment or whatever. So it is something that we should have, we do have, and is used. So thank you.
Does this get handed out to new people that enroll into the senior center or sign up for, you know,
No. No, what I'm gonna say is that we should have a packet, which would be the code of conduct. It should be, well, it would be the membership form, and then a brochure about what the senior center is.
With our
Then everybody gets
hours.
like a welcome.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
welcome package.
So
That's a great idea.
that's, we used to do that when we were in the other building, but we haven't done it since we've been here. So that's something that Crystal and I will work on, so that people get like a little welcome package.
We'll have you there, they can sign them up. Or it's at the same time.
Mary was just talking about how somebody was arguing with her about what was,
Having a picture taken
yeah.
to get a scan card, and I said, I'm sorry, I said, I'm not a volunteer, I said, I have my orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just say, you know, I can be a staff person
He was
for
very
you.
adamant about not wanting this, he did take it, we took
Yeah.
it, but.
In the picture that's taken, it's just for us, for the
That's what,
staff to
you know,
use. It doesn't go
They go in
anywhere.
the doctor's offices now. I mean,
Oh,
You
yeah.
go to the doctor and you have to have your picture taken.
Really?
Oh,
We have to
Well, some-
show
That's
proof
for
of
identification.
They keep a
Identification.
picture, they keep
Oh.
it on your file,
Yeah.
in my doctor's office.
It's
they
for
keep-
identification.
Yeah. Well, you don't know who anybody is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they hadn't all done it, but a lot of them are.
Crystal, if you do make those, if you're going to make those, I'll be willing to take some time to put them all together for you.
Okay,
I would,
yeah.
you know, if it's a mindless job, I do very well.
Like,
You know, if you have, I mean, because it's something, rather than to have you waste your time, I could certainly sit here somewhere and put them together, so.
Just, yeah, we'll figure out a way to get it to people who have already enrolled in
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah.
But there's, yeah, we can do it, but I think like a nice little welcome
Yeah,
package.
yeah. You could do a little small one too, something very easy for people to.
Yeah, we applied for grant funding in the past, kind of through Highland Valley, to put like a booklet together
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of not only has community resource directory for
Oh, yeah.
senior stuff, but also had information about what we do and what, you know, what we have, but unfortunately it wasn't funded, so.
There used to be, when I went to the DA's office, there was a booklet that was area, Hampshire County wide, that had every service.
Oh, yeah,
So that
the
you could
red
put
book.
in and you could say, okay, if you needed child services, if you needed elder services, if you needed whatever, it was great. And then, I guess that must have been a grant thing too, that went, but it was so helpful for us too, you know, when it was a shame and stuff.
Do you have anything under
I do have.
business? Anyone have anything under old business? Bob?
Yes, I have a couple of things. One, I received a complaint from a first-time visitor. They were not familiar with Northampton, but they came down to the senior center. They came down Conn Street because they saw a sign that said senior center this way. And she noted that when she got to the rear of the building, she didn't know whether this was the building or not, because there was absolutely no sign that says senior center on this building facing the parking lot. I just went on and verified that.
It's
We do
true.
have a number, which you have really good eyesight, you can see from half of the parking lot. Not my eyes, of course, but it's very small. But we have no sign, maybe over the bistro windows, a sign that says Northampton Senior Center. Because most people enter this way, they don't enter the front door.
Yeah.
And so that was something she pointed out, and I thought, well, it is really a good idea. They got the sign up on Old South Street now. So
Right, right.
She got directed down Conn Street, and then she got down there and wasn't quite sure what was going on. So,
Okay.
the other piece of business is the coffee shop. We have a great deal of problems with $1.07 for a cup of coffee. We're giving out 93 cents to half the people coming in, they don't have 7 cents, so kick out $2. Tons of change going out. It's annoying to people to have that 7 cents in there, and I was wondering if there's a possibility that we could reprogram that machine for a 94-cent cup of coffee and throw in tax and make it $1.
That's what we used to do.
I know,
We used to cover the tax.
but
Yeah.
the tax can be added in by that machine if you get a 94-cent
Right,
cup of coffee.
so of the dollar, if we were charging $1 and we were then paying the 7 cents.
We lose
For
7 cents
that,
every cup of coffee.
exactly, so we're actually giving away funds is what we were doing.
We're also making it very convenient for the people who use the building, which is the whole purpose of the place in the first place. The purpose of this place is to serve seniors. Now, I know we have a budget problem, and so we have to raise money, but we can also compromise a little bit. I don't think the 7 cents a cup of coffee is going to make too much of a dent. I might be wrong.
I could go through and say how many cups of coffee we sell in a year, and you multiply that, and it's a bigger number than what you think.
I'm sure it
Because
is.
we
What
use-
about getting some bigger cups and raising the cup of
Yeah, and
price
make it
of
$1.25.
coffee to $1.25?
Yeah.
And then when the money is taken from the coffee shop, get money from the bank in quarters, so that you always have a lot
And
of
you know,
quarters.
people will have, I personally would have more of a quarter on my hand than
Yeah.
7 cents. I mean, I think
That would work
that's
also,
the
yeah.
odd number of the
In other words,
cents.
making the coffee cup up to where with.
Yeah,
$1.25.
so could you do that, make it a bigger cup of coffee and say it's $1.25? Or would that be a big deal too?
Well, we went from 8 ounces to 10 ounces when the price went to $1.
Oh,
So, and then Florence Savings Bank generously donated all those cups that
Yeah.
are 10 ounce.
Oh, okay.
So if we're gonna make it a bigger cup of coffee, we'd have to get new cups.
Yep.
New ceramic
So
cups.
it's, so you're, it's gonna
Okay.
make your.
Yep.
I mean, I can look at it, but,
Well, I'm wondering, is it the 7 cents? I know this sounds ridiculous, but how many people, it's almost like I'd rather pay $1.25 than to pay a
Or
7
$1.10.
cent. Yeah, or, yeah, exactly, something that was not as, I don't know, I don't think most people have pennies in there.
No. That's what I say, I work in the coffee shop periodically, and you hand out 93 cents in change over and over and over again.
Yeah.
On the day of the election day, I worked in the morning, so an awful lot of coffee. I had to chase down Barbara 3 times and someone else a couple other times just to get quarters, dimes, and nickels. Because we just were running out of change. Nobody had, everybody just gave me $2 for a cup of coffee and 93 cents in change.
so wouldn't the solution be to have more change more coins in the cash register?
Not really, because I think it's inconvenient to people.
How
And
about
they
just-
don't
what do
want
they
all
do?
that change.
What do
They
people
get
do?
it, they don't want it.
What do they do when they go to a store and have to do the same
Well, that's
thing?
true.
You know, and, you know, I'm just gonna say that the gift shop and the coffee shop and the bistro, whatever it is we're selling, it's there for a reason. And not that all of it is taxed,
No.
but, you know, one of the first things when we even were gonna have a senior center and sell things, I got it from the auditor's office, that it was the treasurer's office, make sure you're gonna charge the tax, and here's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
And so we have to
I
report
don't
that.
disagree with that. I'm not arguing that point. I'm just saying,
You should upsell, tell them buy a donut, buy a candy bar, buy this, buy that. You don't want to carry around change, spend it.
I mean, so, I mean, the other solution could be, you know, now a cup of coffee is $1.25. So you start listening to everybody complain, or have it, I shouldn't say
I've
complain, but
never
have
heard
an
complaint about
issue.
the price of a thing. It's the inconvenience of that 7 cents and all of that. And the price doesn't seem to bother them at all. In fact, a lot of them say $1 is rather cheap for a cup of coffee. It is around everywhere.
That's what I think.
I think going to $1.25 would
Coffee
probably
shop
be a better
is
solution.
but I think
Well,
it's
we'll work on it.
But I'd look at it.
Yeah,
right?
I will work on it, Bob.
Are you still using styrofoam cups?
We are right now because we ran out of the other kind of cups, but we're trying to get away from styrofoam.
Okay, because if you start with the other cups at the hospital, it's 15 cents to make those cups.
15 cents each?
15 cents each with a little thingy that holds the, so you won't burn yourself.
Yeah, we don't have those.
No.
The cup with a handle on it.
15 cents.
So did the price of coffee there go up?
Well, how much is a coffee at the coffee shop at the hospital?
I don't really know. There's 3 or 4 different sizes.
Yeah.
But to make that cup,
The recyclable cups, the biodegradable ones.
it's biodegradable, yeah.
It also has the handle on it. the fold-out
Not-
handle.
Which is the
Yeah, the
biggest pain in
fold-up
the
one.
butt. that
It is.
Everyone says.
Like Starbucks.
Yeah.
you know.
You mean the
So you don't
sleeve
get
that they
burned.
put
Are you
on,
talking
not
about
like
the
the
sleeve?
handle comes out?
Yeah.
The sleeve.
Sleeve.
It's a
Oh, yeah.
sleeve.
Those handles that come out. I never figured that one.
Yeah, plus it's dangerous.
They are dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'll take that under advisement, Bob.
Okay, well, I will continue to ask you the question.
If they don't like the change, have them donate the change, kick the tires.
Nobody's gonna do that.
I think you're gonna have a problem with that one. But we could ask.
You could have a little thingy.
We do.
Throw the pennies in there.
Yeah, we have.
No, a thing that you put the change in, not the little dish, container
No.
with the top.
Oh,
And then, put your change here for kick the tire with the new
Yeah, we'll
name.
do that.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just throw the pennies in there.
Yeah.
Want to get rid of your pennies? Get rid of your pennies and throw it.
They'll be looking
Out
for
by
you.
the van.
Can I take my pennies out of here because I only have a nickel? Can I take my pennies out of
They
here?
do
That's what's gonna
that now.
happen.
They have
That's what
to take
happens
a
at the
penny
thrift
for
shop,
I know,
you
yeah.
know? Oh, it came to 65 or 66 or 66. Can I take, you got any pennies over there?
I
That's
do
what's gonna
notice
happen.
people kicking a lot of change into the tip jar,
Yeah,
but usually when it's under 50 cents,
yeah.
maybe 30 or 40 cents or 25 cents, they'll
yeah.
throw that in the tip jar. If
Well,
it's,
you
give them
could
the
just-
93 cents, they take it every time.
Well, why can't you make it $1.25 and tell me you bought this new exotic coffee? It doesn't matter what your profits, it doesn't matter to me. We bought this special
things
coffee,
have gone
this is made just for the senior center, now it's $1.25.
Cost of living.
Yeah,
It's just, it's gone up.
Everything
Yeah.
else has gone up,
So we'll figure it out.
and they don't apologize when they raise the price.
no.
Okay, Patty's gonna work on that.
Patty's gonna start brewing the coffee herself, and we'll see. You and Harry are gonna make coffee, I think.
I may never work in a coffee shop again. No, I'm gonna ask him, he's a troublemaker.
Oh, my God.
All right, anybody have anything else on old business? We'll move on to new business. Patty?
New business. Well, 2015 is just around the corner.
Oh, God.
That's all, other than getting ready for the special events that we're going to be doing for 2015, which you'll get a list of at the next meeting. Yeah, we're just preparing for 2015, and the first big thing coming up will be the Just Because sale. So I'll just reiterate what the Just Because sale is. It's a way for us to get all the merchandise that we didn't sell in the gift shop for the holidays or for, from the craft fair. It isn't for people to give us lots more stuff, though we do appreciate when people make donations. It's really for us to sort of clean our closets and, you know, empty out the gift shop so that we can start sort of
People do bargains along the way, and
lots of bargains.
so everybody makes up.
And the public is invited to attend that on January 8th. It's gonna happen, I'm sorry, I take that back. It's on Friday, January 9th, from 1 to, I'm sorry, 9 to 1, and January 10th, Saturday, 9 to 1.
Yep.
Saturday.
So,
So sign up to volunteer now if you're available.
And that's gonna be the first time to get names for the,
yeah, what Barbara's referring to is Florence Savings Bank. As of January 1st, they start another cycle for the Customer Choice Awards. So we'll keep our fingers crossed.
What I usually do in the middle of January is sign it up again every year.
Yeah, do it at the beginning.
That way Barbara doesn't bug me.
Barbara does a great job at it.
Yep.
Anyone want to make a motion to adjourn? No?
Okay.
Nobody, well, I will.
I just